Thich Nhat Hanh writes that there are two crucial parts of any healthy spiritual practice. And I know he's not talking about violence in the Middle East, but it still seems incredibly on point. The first part of a healthy practice is stopping. We interrupt the habit energy that's been pushing us along. We meditate, we observe the Sabbath, whatever we have to do to calm those anxious parts of us that are always doing and reacting. And the second is deep listening. Once we get our parts calmed, we can say, okay, what's going on? What do you need that you're not getting? What is it that you want me to know? And in doing that, we remember that we are not bad. And even the most destructive parts of ourselves are just trying to get their needs met, albeit in an unskillful way, because it's the best they know how. Now, I think those two parts are just as helpful when it comes to the violence in Palestine and Israel. The first step is to stop. Stop the reactivity and the labeling and research best practices. Find sustainable and effective ways to stand in the way of injustice, to tell the truth and fund relief efforts, to de-incentivize conflict. And as we do that, we engage in deep listening. To yourself, remembering to make space for your own anger and grief. To those being hurt, taking time to hear their stories and read the numbers. And to those doing the hurting. Because just like us, there are no bad parts in them. Just scared and angry parts trying to get their needs met in the best way they know how. So if we want to contribute to putting an end to the violence, and with 35,000 Palestinians having been killed, 13,000 of those being children, it's a moral imperative, then we need to remember to engage stopping and deep listening on every level of this process. To fight not people, but the greed, hatred, and delusion that gave rise to all of this to begin with, that gives rise to all suffering.